Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Yomi no Tsugai Chapter 8. When we last left our heroes, everyone at the Kagemori Manor was under attack by a mysterious group of Tsugai. Gab handles her assailants very easily. She just sort of wipes the floor with them, bites them in half. But the combined forces of the twins, Jin, Haruo, and Sakurazawa-sensei, have a bit more trouble with their yin-yang guy, especially once the twins and Sayu get trapped in these little domains. Thankfully, Asa, with the power of Kai, along with the one on the right, quickly dispel their domain, while Left and Yuru are trapped in their own domain, where Yuru tries to fix a bow. But Asa gets out real fast, and then ends that Tsugai's contract with its master, takes over the master position, and then has the Tsugai betray its old master. Which is where we leave off, with Haruo and Sakurazawa commenting on just how cruel young people are these days. With that said, let's just dive right on in. No title right away, just a little blurb released. And we see the yin-yang Tsugai just spits up Yuru and Left, while Yuru is still trying to fix that damn bow. And Haruo notes, they're out! And Asa comments, big brother! And Yuru and Left look around, a little shocked at their newfound freedom. And then they see Yin-Yang, and they go on the attack. Asa stops them, whoa, wait, they're our ally! And Yuru just demands, explain. Huh? Oh, the guys who shut us in that strange space are now our allies. And Haruo chimes in, they can make people disappear in an instant, which ties back to his moment last month of thinking maybe Yin-Yang has something to do with the disappearance. Maybe their master knows something about Asa-chan's parents, and that makes Yuru freeze. And then he just says, we should capture that person. And that's Asa's line, to which Yuru responds, great, how? And we get to the same question from last month, the end of the last chapter, as Asa asks again, where is your former master? And he points to a balcony, and we see his master, this bearded guy, nearly shaved head, right below the balcony, panicking. Damn it, that ability is a cheat. The idiot Tsugai betrayed me so easily. I must make my escape. And Asa, because it's so dark out, can't really see anything. Where? It's too dark, I can't see. And then something just slides. Oh, shit. For a second there, I thought it was something headed toward, from the front of Asa to behind her, but it's the other way around. It flies past her, hitting the guy, through the little beams in the shoulder. Just got him. And he just screams, Gah! Ow! And then Yuru turns to right. Right, son, capture him. Sure. And we see Haruo, who's just he has no idea. He's just what the fuck? And then Yuru's on the warpath here. Great. Let's see how many people I can catch. And Asa is just in awe at her brother. Big brother's ultimate technique. I'm so happy to be alive. And Yuru was just come the fuck on, man. But I guess after things calm down and it looks like the dawn is rising, we cut to Jin and some random Kagemoris as Jin's just wandering. Jin-san? My apologies for the commotion. I made a slight mess in the mansion. I'll clean up afterwards. I guess was he not there earlier with the twins? I don't think so. He went to go deal with all the Tsugai running around the mansion, just whooping their asses left and right. Anyway, I made a slight mess in the mansion. I'll clean up afterwards. The Tsugai pair approaches him from above, and Ai-chan just devours them in one gulp. All non-combatants, please hide somewhere safe before I finish clearing things up. And the two Kagemoris are just right and go to hide. And now Jin's on the porch, and we see this bald guy in this sort of fang Tsugai thing as he's watching Jin. Great. Walk straight to me. I'll attack from below. And then Makoto catches him from under the floor and shoots something, and it's a bomb, and he just blows up. Good Lord, Gene. We see another guy with like a bandana watching Gene from the bushes. It's Gene. If I take him out, it'll make a big difference. He sends his like little masked guy at Gene, and I gobbles them up. Oh, it wasn't even really Gene. It was Ai's little like anglerfish disguise. Gene pops up behind the man and shoots him point blank in the head. Here, good work. Okay, so Gene then looks at him and says, I haven't seen these people among us before. Which is interesting. It means these aren't Kagemoris. It's not like whatever Splinter Cell that asshole from Chapter 6 was part of. It's like an unknown organization, which is interesting. Anyway, Gab then approaches him. Gene-chan, good work. I killed about 5 groups of weaklings. I've never seen them in the Kagemori mansion before. And Gene responds, I took down about 8 groups. They're all pretty weak. Yeah. And then he just fires some more bullets. And we get this guy in like a tracksuit who also already has an arrow plunged in him, probably from Yuru. And Gene knows, I don't know him either. Is he a Tsugai user? And the guy, like, Gene gets his gun up to his head, and the guy's like begging for his life. Oh, wait, my Tsugai was killed by that pair of teeth. I'm defenseless. And Gene takes a note of him and sees the arrow. An arrow. And this means his big brother. And Gab questions, where did the arrow come from? And they look off onto the roof, and we see Yuru in, like, silhouette. Just his hand out of silhouette. Like a fucking Batman sort of thing. Green Arrow, more like. And he pulls out another arrow, and he aims it, but he doesn't really find anyone. He just sort of, like, sits there silently for a bit. And he realizes that it's all over, I guess. But then we hear a thought bubble from the bushes. Oh my, that's scary. And we see this guy in like a top knot, got a couple of swords, hiding in the bushes. If I tried to fight him, I would have been shot before I could reach him. And we don't get, like, I was kind of expecting the next page would just be like Yuru, like, one-shotting that guy. But no, we get this, like, bearded guy who, he's hit Akio's Tsugai, the giant black void. He looks up at it in confusion, and the eye opens and, like, looms at him. And Sword Guy just thinks to himself, looks like the other guys have all been caught. I'll call it a day. I don't want to get hurt. This slapdash grouping is no match for them. Retreat, retreat. Okay, so whatever this group is, they're just sort of, I guess, like a bunch of brought together mercenaries. There's not really like a lot of allegiance between them, it seems. You know, it's slapdash, Mr. Topknot says. So I'm guessing it is a little like, you know, they just got some guys together. Either way, the bearded guy from the last page is looking around. Damn it, you've got to be kidding. I took the job because I thought it sounded good. And he's trying to, like, sneak out the entrance. I'll have to go about finding some new Tsugai now. And as he escapes, we see a guy with a... Oh, it's Akio with the crowbar. Just beats him to death. This series just gets brutal all the time, you know? Like, FMA was brutal too, don't get me wrong. But, like, I feel like there was a weight to the deaths more in FMA. Like, every single character who died, for the most part, there was this sense of, like, not all the time, but, like, I feel like it just wasn't so gratuitous. And this isn't, like, a bad thing. It's more just a comparison in general. Like, you know, there were, like, random soldiers who would die, sure. But, like, most of the time, if you saw a character with, like, thoughts, their deaths would all be kind of weighty and not just sort of one more death to add to the fucking pile here. I don't know, it's fun still. Like, watching Gene murder all those guys is a great time. But at some point, dawn finally rises. The battle is over. We just see, like, destroyed stonework, a floor, a porch. And Haruo finds Gene. Gene-san, good work. And Gene, we see him, like, limping, still from... This was all, you know, with the injury Yuru gave him earlier in the night. Just comments, last night was pretty tiring. Then he turns to Yuru and Asa, who are just, like, hanging out on the porch. Apologies, big brother, for involving you. And Yuru tells him, that was quite the welcome. Thanks for the help. And Yuru is not really, satisfied with that statement. I didn't do it for you people. I did it because we might find clues about mother and father. And speaking of, I'm assuming the Yin Yang original user is still around somewhere, because they still need to get those actual clues. And then Gab finds them. Asa, are you all? Oh, and I was from both Yuru and Gab as they just glare at each other. And Gab is just furious. That damn kid. And Yuru snaps back. That short kid. But Gab goes on, I'm a kid, but I'm probably older than you. Liar. Be respectful to Gab-sama. And Yuru just tells her, don't forget that time I spared you. I haven't forgotten what you've done. And as Gabriel, Gab, Left, and Yuru all square off, Asa gets in the middle. Hold it. Big brother and Sayu-sama helped out a lot. And Gab just tells her, I know, it's obvious. And we cut to all of the survivors, two of which have one, the tracksuit guy with the arrow in his arm. One guy's got an arrow in his ass. Rip to that dude. And Wright is just doing something with some more survivors. And Gab looks out at them all. We captured a lot of people. What do we do with them? And Jean tells her, we'll leave it for the master to decide when he returns. Anyway, let's question them first. And Haruo, I always get them confused. Haruo tells him, yes, sir. And then we see it's the guy with the yin yang, who they question first. They told me they'd give me a big reward if I caught the twins. I don't know who they were. And Haruo and the rabbit and the hare just sort of stare at him as the guy turns away. And Haruo squats down to meet him at basically eye level. Let's start with the classic. And the guy looks at him confused, and it's Tortoise who puts the weight on his knees. And the guy just screams. As Haruo comments, at least I've done without That's a weird line, doesn't sound natural at all. At least I have done without the jagged thing beneath you. That's just a weird turn of phrase. There is no way I'd be saying that saying that naturally. But Hare just comments, Haruo is so kind. But we see that the force of Tortoise is crushing the cobblestones. The cobblestones, ow! And Haruo just questions, which organization hired you? Someone from the Kagemori family? I don't know about any organization. Really? They said there was a nice job and assets to gather at once. Ow! So I'm not a big fan of torture, but I'm not sure it's what to see the Kagemoris as this bastion of goodness, so I'll ignore it for now. It's just a part-time job. A lot of guys in the team didn't know each other. Everyone's probably just a normal Tsugai user. My bones are breaking! And Haruo goes on, you don't know about any organization. There must have been a leader among you people. And the guy comments, camouflage clothing. A guy wearing a camouflage jacket with a beard. And Jean, I think, has heard the story at this point, and he turns to Akio. Akio is so cute, by the way. The way, he hides the fucking crowbar and, covers his mouth to hide the fucking murder. He's adorable. Okay. And Akio notes, he probably fell in front of the door. Yeah, that's a way to put it. Or no, that might be Jean's line, actually, because Akio then responds with a, sorry. And Jean looks over. Next, do you know the whereabouts of a couple who escaped from Higashimura? And the bearded man looks at him. The twins' parents are the couple who disappeared from the flight. What's going on? I thought whatever congestion was going on up here was over. I guess it's back with a vengeance now. The twins' parents are the couple who disappeared from the flight bound for Okinawa. Do you know anything about that? And we see Yuru and Asa waiting to find the answer. And the guy just screams, no! I don't know anything about those people! Get the tortoise off! And Yuru was begging, anything is fine. Even unimportant details are fine. Do you know anything? I said, I don't know. The other guys all comment, neither do I, nor I. And the one surviving woman turns to her little raccoon and the fox and Tanuki Tsugai. do you know anything? And they both shake their heads. And Yuru is pissed. Also seems a little more accepting of the failure there. But Yuru is not happy. And Jean just sighs in frustration. And Haruo turns to the others. Anyone want to question this guy further? And Asa raises her hand. Yeah, I want to ask you something. And the man is just begging now. I'll tell you anything. Just get this tortoise off. And she points to her new Tsugai. Just like very respectfully. Tell me their names. Name? What? And Asa is just like, keeps pressing. What do you call them? I haven't named them. I just say, hey, or you guys. That's fucked up, man. Like the people who don't name their Pokemon. That's fucked up. You should name your Tsugai. And Asa just comments, you should have named them. But the guy, he's gonna get fucked up. He is not surviving this conversation, not realizing the trap he's in. They're just like livestock. I have to make sure they know their place as a servant. I don't bother with naming them. Well, that's why you got betrayed so fucking easily, man. Gab is like furious there. And Gabriel, Gab has Gabriel get the guy's head right between his teeth, and like all of a sudden, and he's like panicked there. And Asa kind of tells her off, Gab-chan, and there's this moment where it seems like she's right about to like press down and kill him, and then she lets him go. And she just backs away. Asa goes to like get out of her pajamas. I'll go change. And she walks away. And so Yuru's a little questioning about that, why exactly she got so furious. And we don't really know why, because we know nothing of Gab's backstory. But Haruo looks back at the guy, he's like wet his pants in fear. He's got a little bit of a cut in his head where the teeth hit. And Haruo comments, I see. That's why the Tsugai easily betrayed you. Also, he's got a tortoise off of him, which I guess is nice at this point. And Hare berates him, hey you, even Tsugai have hearts. And the guy's just sitting there in a panic. And Haruo turns to the other survivors. If you guys know anything, now's the time to come clean. And they're all scared shitless by what they just saw. This is just a part-time job, yeah. And the woman just like points at her Tsugai, and I properly named my comrades. They're not the kind of fucker that's like gonna treat their Tsugai like livestock, the fucker. And we see Yuru and the Sayus just sort of dealing with their failure there. As Yuru notes, no clue about father and mother, huh? And Asa just tells him, sorry, big brother, you came all the way to the Kagemoris. Then she turns to her new Tsugai and gets back to the question, now, what do I name you guys? And they sort of like nuzzle up at Yuru all adorable, or at Asa all adorably. Oh, stop it. I'm just your temporary master. Don't get your hopes up. Oh, I don't think they want her to be a temporary master here. And then they start to like, because they're so big, they start to like press on Asa. Sorry, can you shrink a little? And they shrink into these little like yin-yang wisps, and they're like knotted, like their tails are knotted together. It's so adorable. As Asa notes, so cute, so cute. And then Yuru asks, or says to her, you said you've been attacked by a lot of assassins. It's been this way since you left the mountain? And Asa just tells him, yeah. It was a bit close this time because there were a lot of them. My big brother helped me. Thank you. Well, I mean, it wasn't a bit close. Jean and Gab just wiped the fucking... There was, like, no real struggle here. The assassins got wiped. But okay, it was a bit close. There's still, like, that sweet little... But a more sweet Yuru Asa moment than we've really had so far, given how much of Asa's reactions are all based in, like... Well, with Yuru himself, not about Yuru, but with Yuru, is all, like, the whole over-the-top, I'm so excited to see my brother again shtick. Anyway, Asa goes on, I thought that it would be safe inside the mansion. Gotta keep my guard up. And Yuru is just comments, No wonder her gaze seems menacing. And then he turns to her and says out loud, "Hey, your right eye," referring to the eye patch. "Did the assassins do that?" And there's this awkward moment of silence, both from Asa and then from Jean. And Asa then comments, "Well, that's about right." Which feels like she's lying, like maybe it wasn't the assassins who fucked up her eye. And Asa looks at her kind of confused at that about right comment. And then she corrects herself, "But no, I don't want to lie to my big brother." And there's just this awkward moment as like no one's really saying anything. And then she tells him, "I've already died once." Okay, I have no idea what the fuck that means. "I was killed by the assassins of Higashimura." Okay. And then we finally get our chapter title, Chapter 8, Sincerity and Murderous Intent. And also, Yuru's like taken aback, like in shock by her statement. And then we get a bit of a flashback monologue from Asa. The first time I learned... Oh god, my sinuses are fucked! I don't know what's going on, I can barely talk. "The first time I learned about the murderous intent of other people was a few days before my father left the village. They seemed like bandits. When my father went into the mountains to hunt..." This is Yuru's monologue, not Asa's. Right, because Asa wouldn't say "before my father left the village," because that was when she left. But Yuru would. We see he's like being, pinned down by this bandit. "I nearly lost my life. The world doesn't need you," he said. The air simmered with his intense rejection. It seemed to stab at me through the pores of my body, bypassing my skin and striking straight through to my flesh and organs. This is a very, literary monologue from Yuru here. I'm not sure how we should, read that. Might just be Arakawa, flexing a bit. Her, literary prowess. Then, Yuru from this pinned position takes up his little sword and, stabs the guy. Knocks him over. And Yuru barely made it out of that one alive. We see his father has also made doubly sure by getting an arrow in the guy's neck, and this might actually end up being that line, the world doesn't need you. That feels tied to the whole fated twins thing. That's maybe these guys were also assassins of Higashimura or something. I don't know. Or some Tsugai user who knows what it means for these twins to be alive and doesn't want them to be alive, at the very least. Anyway, Yuru, you alright? And this is his father's coming to check on him. This is his blood. You're unhurt? And then he just grabs him, holds him. "Sorry for letting you out of my sight." Which actually, that line and the fact that he doesn't take Yuru with him when he defects is also very interesting. I don't know. There's a lot of... I don't know what was going on with the parents when they left. Because he has that "sorry for letting you out of my sight" right before he permanently lets Yuru out of his sight. So it's very suspicious there. I don't know. And Yuru was just stunned. What was that? And his dad tells him, "Yuru, remember, that was a murderous intent. You'll probably, repeatedly..." And then he corrects himself, "No. It'll be thrown at you constantly, as long as you're alive. Show no mercy to anyone who faces you with it. A father's teaching." So we see the beginnings of Yuru's cutthroatness here. The element of Yuru that will instantly take anyone down as soon as possible. Wrong phrase there. Not as soon as possible, but as soon as there is any threat at all, boom, Yuru does not hesitate, he just kills. And, given this sort of, super important moment in his life, that very much does make a degree of sense. And also, I imagine that, the fact that this is right before his parents leave him, also heavily implanted this in his brain. God, I can't fucking talk right now. Anyway, where was I? Like, the fact this is quite possibly the last lesson his father ever taught him, must have fucked him up a little bit, you know? The last thing his father ever said, or one of the last lessons of his father was, if someone tries to kill you, kill them like that. It's a very brutal, it's a very, you know, ways of the ancient world viewpoint. And I'm curious if that will end up, like, I don't know, it's a weird, like, quality to have in your protagonist to not, you know, pick apart in a shonen manga like this. You know, you kill before you're killed, just automatically. So I'm curious if Arakawa will end up deconstructing Yuru at some point in the story's future. I mean, I imagine she will in some way, but, like, on this sort of murderous intent thing in particular, I don't know. I think it's certainly a possibility. But anyway, there's a lot of good stuff here. The battle is really fun. Just like the utter devastation Jean Gab and Yuru inflicted on the attackers, like, the Jean section especially is just so much fun. Like, the casual eye snapping up the Tsugai from the ceiling, the Makoto dropping a bomb, the, like, eye trap allowing Jean to shoot the guy in the head. It's all just fun. It's a fun time all around. Which is the weird thing to say about all this casual murder, but, you know, it's still fun. And then, let's see what else there is. There's, you know, I enjoy the comments on how people treat Tsugai. And that definitely seems to be something people end up exploring with Gab. If those final Gab moments are anything to go by. The way she almost just chomps the guy in rage for, like, the way he treats his Tsugai. That seems very telling. That's going to be an important part of her story, especially with Yuru's little, like, look of confusion. That's a deliberate thing. That's a, put a pin in this idea, we'll explore it more later at some point. And then there's the reveal about Asa, and I have no idea what that's going to end up meaning. I imagine that's going to be what we focus on immediately next time. Because I don't think there's that much to really glean from this little Yuru flashback. But Asa, she's died once, killed by the assassins of Higashimura. And here's an interesting question. Here's an interesting thought. If we count this, you know, pre-death and post-death Asa, you know, that's two lives. She lost a life, and now she's still alive. She has a life. But there's also two Asas running around. You know, they're not running around. One's stuck in her prison cell in Higashimura. But still, that all seems kind of interesting. I'm curious if that's going to end up leading to something. Or if it'll just be, you know, or if those two facts aren't really going to be connected. But the fact that she was killed, and the whole mystery around the fake Asa, for some reason that feels connected to me. I can't quite explain it, and I might be completely way off base here. But it feels right. I don't know. But that remains to be seen. But yeah, all in all, there's a lot of fun to be had here. It's a really, really just strong chapter. We got some good action, like action comedy, some good character work with Gab, but also some comedy with Gab as well, with like the whole thing with the Tsugai is like at least a little funny. The way that like that's why he was betrayed so easily by his Tsugai. And then there's the mysteries around Asa, and we get that little bit of Yuru's past and the murderous intent thing that's so central to who Yuru is as a person. All of this is really important. Is these like early building blocks of characters that Arakawa will be, I imagine, expanding on greatly as the series goes on, for however long it goes on for. Here's hoping it goes on for many years and we can explore all these things in due time. For all of its like wrapping up a little conflict of the mansion, it also does feel very much like it's setting up building blocks. And I can't wait to see what those building blocks end up shaping into. So with that said, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes it happy, And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!